It's basically where many composers ended up working after the Great Recession. There's only the overhead we have to pay is our mortgage, which we were already paying. So, in fact, it's a tax. You get to write off a little bit more of your space. So, there's probably thousands of us around the country now, in little places like this. I just happen to have CDs, which are probably many people don't have anymore, and I even have records, LPs.
Is tempo okay?
It's a little slower. It's a little slower. Da, 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 da. Yeah, beautiful. That's Chris. My name is Jonathan Fields. I'm a commercial composer. I started a long time ago. I don't remember when. Mostly I've scored television commercials. And you can hold the, yeah, I mean pedal, I would pedal everything. Yeah.
Keep that.
Yeah, it's really that type of pedaling thing that just, it rings through his picture. And I'm grateful to have scored this recent film for Justin, who's recording me now. And the reason I'm grateful because it's a film that, this sounds cliche, but it touched my heart. In the last, let's say, 5 years, I've done more film work, and I've enjoyed that a little bit more because usually a director has something they want to say, and it's a larger narrative, and I enjoy working on a larger narrative structure. And this film in particular, I got into the narrative here. It's basically, I guess it's a coming of age story. There's a kind of tenderness to it, and I thought the images were really beautiful. And there was a lot of space for music, although I wasn't asked to do a lot because there was a lot of already, kind of songs in there. But there was a beauty to it, and I enjoyed, trying to explore, discover the music that would work to tell his story. Then when it gets into the marcato build, really got to tighten up right away. Da, 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 and I would say, ba, 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 ba. I met Justin. He was a teaching assistant for a friend of mine at School of Visual Arts, and we were just talking about music for some of the students, I guess, and I guess he was impressed, and so he asked me to score his first film, Placebo, which was his student thesis. And it was a very long film, and it had a lot of music in it. So it was maybe the second film a feature film I had scored. I'm a commercial composer, so I was just learning kind of how to even technically work on a film. And there's no money, and you want to do live music, blah, blah, blah. So we finished the film, and I was like, okay, let me go back to commercials. That's what I'm good at. This film stuff's too hard. Takes too long. Film commercials you finish in 3 days. And you're on to the next thing. So then in the next couple of years, I got a couple of other films through other directors, worked with a partner on one of them. I really wasn't looking to do films. I'm not a kid, so it's not like I'm looking for a new career, Artistically, I like them because they're more artistically gratifying. And out of the blue, got a call from Justin. He said he had filming enough money for live musicians this time. And I said, oh, wow, that makes it easier and more fun. And so... and there was less music to write because it was much more focused. His music decisions were really, really focused in this one. He had a lot of stuff in place, and he knew kind of exactly what he wanted the music to do for each thing. So, and it was pretty varied. So that was fun too. But the best part of it was the live recording, and because I think that's really the only way you should do films, unless it's pure sound design. What musicians bring to an image there's just a great marriage between the two. I think Justin really, really wanted that. I think that's probably why he asked me.
Yeah, I think the D, it's supposed to rub there. Let me just hear 104 from 104. 104. 104.
Maybe we can do it slower.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh, sorry, from 104.
All of us?
Yeah, all of you. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Let's do it faster. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1. Yeah, that's. I want the D to be attention.
I think it was really the opening and the closing were the hard parts of the music writing. And then there was the one other scene which was much more. What you gave me was much more. Had electric sounds and everything. Was the one with had the kind of synth pad and that beautiful piano thing, and then that kind of beautiful James Horner-ish violin thing that opens up while she's running in the field with a kite. That was the other kind of emotional kind of breakout moment where you get a sense of a little bit more emotion, a little more feeling. And a lot of other things were more reflective and just had it sort of like hover, That one, that particular da 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 dee da da da, that kind of almost pastoral thing when she's outside in Jersey. That came to me. I was just running down the stairs. I had been working on the cue, and I was kind of tired of these ponderous chords just floating, and I said, no, it's got to have more passion. So that melody just came into my ear, and I just was going out with my wife, and I just wrote it down on paper, like upstairs, and then I came down and I redid the scene, and I just wrote that in. So there was a couple of, I think, deeper compositional moments that were meaningful to me. And for some reason, that when you had her with a kite going into that long shot, that was really that had a lot of impact on me. That scene had a lot of impact on me.
The theme was simple. It was just that was Emily's theme, basically. These notes, which actually you sang to me.
Yeah, you had written something, but I had not quite fallen in love with it, so I was exploring some other stuff, and I sent stuff, and I think there was one section of it you liked, and then you sang to me 3 versions of something, and I grabbed onto the one that was like this, these 3, and so I just added harmonies to it, because I wanted to feel like there was some kind of striving, but it wasn't. But it was minor at the same time. It wasn't major, but it had a sense of moving forward at the same time. So that's, and then I wanted it to develop a little bit, and I really love. I listened to the song by one of the songs by Rihanna, and she's used this progression. And I like that, so I wanted to work that progression. You cannot get sued for using your progression. So whatever I said about Rihanna, I did not steal her song. So and then that built, and then that melody became was the one that came over the kite thing, and I guess I was thinking a little bit of a Horner type melody, and it's so with the strings, it's a very soaring, beautiful melody. So that was. And then the other thing that was really cool was just working with that effect on the guitar. I just worked on this kind of sound designy guitar thing. I don't know if I have that, but that's when I just picked up the guitar. I just wanted to have an atmospheric type of thing. And with those harmonic strings, and that kind of served a kind of a nice purpose. I used it in a couple of places, sometimes with the strings, sometimes without the strings. But I liked. I would, if it had been a more time or a bigger budget or whatever you wanted to call it, I think I would have worked a lot more. Even hired a sound designer and kind of gotten a much bigger sound design palette plus an orchestral palette. That would be the. It was in. I'm talking way too big, but that's what it was trying to infer. In a sense, you had sounds that drew you in, and then emotion with the strings. Those were the two things. I thought you were kind of trying to, that with your scratch tracks kind of. You like the big emotion, but done in a very, that the scene where she's with her dad, and mom, and they're finally looking at her sister. In the video, in the end, it could have been, you could have built that to a big emotional moment musically. That could have been another way to go instead of the splot, that very kind of keeping this mystery, going. But in the end, I realized that's what you wanted, so I combined two cues because there was some music that was that theme. I wanted that theme to come back, but only on the piano. Not with the strings. I wanted it to come back there for some reason. I don't know. It just seemed right. I didn't want to just use that once. And since we had the live piano doing it, almost like if you're playing power chords, And I guess the surge is into the cello. So the cello. So maybe you guys can't be quite as loud as you got it here. I think you could double this. I don't know. What? I'm sorry. It's from C. Yes. Okay. C. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Maybe accent on the chord changes. It's almost in one, I guess.